everyone, this is Nancy Rebecca with Intuitive Mind, and this is this week's video where I'm going to be talking about the energy of anger and rage, which usually isn't a very favorite topic for people, but it can be a very healing and empowering topic. Uh, the human energy field, of course, you've got your aura and you have your chakras, but you also, and I talked a little bit about this with the second chakra, is your lovely body energies. And those body energies are your emotions, your creativity, your sexual energy, and your male and your female energy. So what kind of inspired this topic for this week is that I kind of saw something on Facebook. I saw a feed about people feeling kind of rage, feeling anger, not knowing quite what to do with this anger, with everything that's going on, asking for suggestions. So I thought, all right, it sounds like a really great topic for us to talk about. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the energy of anger, the energy of rage, and then I'm going to lead you through a little meditation to see if you can have your own experience of working with your own emotion of anger, or what I like more like how I like to describe it is the red energy that is so transformative. So it was about a month ago where I had this sense, like I could see this wall of red. It was almost like a tsunami wave of water that was heading our direction. And my intuitive sense was telling me that kind of when it came, when it kind of reached wherever I was, that it would probably take about 3 weeks. My sense about it was, okay, we're probably going to be feeling a little agitated, a little cranky. So I always like to give a heads up to my students and all of you that I'm talking to say, all right, you might be having some anger come up, so just increase your grounding in your earth energy. However, how it happened was not what I could have predicted. I didn't dig deeper to get more of a sense of what was happening. And what happened was the protest and people getting really enraged and angry in regards to definitely racism, but also, the political turmoil, economic turmoil, the pandemic that we're in right now, the date that I'm talking to you from is July 9th, 2020. And so we're just barely on the other side of just that huge explosion of everyone saying enough, things have to change. So, however you feel about the changes that need to happen doesn't really matter, but it's like, how do you work with that red energy to help you to transform and to manage it? So I talk about in our second chakra, so we have an emotional channel, and that emotional channel travels up the center of our body and up and out the top of the head. So this is the important part. Like if you kind of reach up and remember maybe where your baby's soft spot would have been when you were born, where the bones haven't totally kind of come together. Well, this is where your spirit connects in with your second chakra, and your spirit comes down into your body. But it's also where the emotions of the body travel up and move out the top of the head to cleanse the outer aura and to cleanse that spiritual area. But it cleanses all the chakras on the way up. And your spirit loves emotions. Your spirit doesn't feel emotions, but your spirit really admires your physical body because your physical body is able to experience the emotions, whether it is anger or joy or happiness or sexual energy, or that full flow of creative energy, or that strong action-oriented male or very receptive, intuitive female energy. Those are all gifts that we've been given by the divine, given by the God of your heart, and are meant to be expressed. But they can feel really out of control. People who are very empathic, I know many of you watching this video are very empathic, and maybe at times kind of felt betrayed by your emotions, or felt controlled by your emotions, dominated by your emotions. So when I'm talking about emotions in the second chakra, I'm just going to introduce a little bit today about learning how to manage it. So this red energy, I kind of talk about like a rocket ship. It's like the fuel. It revitalizes us. It helps us to feel alive and energized. It helps us, like when we're exercising, we're running, we're doing something physical. That red really helps strengthen us in many ways. That red really helps kind of clear our mind and help us to focus. However, we've had different experiences with that around people who are enraged all the time or angry, or maybe you grew up in a household where anger was expressed and you're frightened by it. Maybe you work with anger as a way to keep people away, to set boundaries. So many people work with anger in a lot of ways, but anger can be very destructive. So let me just talk about red. Red energy can be destructive, can be violent, can be murderous, and can be bullyish. So it kind of gets a little bit of a bum rap. I've worked a long time with my emotional channels, and I remember once the emotions were saying, I don't like to be called anger. I don't like to be labeled rage, because I'm so much more than that. And so when someone's running a lot of strong red energy, people say, why are you angry? It's like, well, I'm not angry. I'm just, and it's like, you're running that red, but other people can interpret it as anger. So let me talk a little bit about kind of what happens around this red energy when it gets activated. So kind of the root, or the reservoir, I call it, or like a little bowl or ball of emotions, is in the second chakra, and then the tube comes up and out the top of the head. Kind of reminds me of a tulip bulb, and then you've got the long stalk, and then the flower blossoms. You can imagine the flower of the red blossoming in your seventh chakra. But when that anger gets activated, or when you're around someone who is maybe angry and enraged, for some of you, that root chakra that's located between the hips can fly open. You go into immediate fear because you maybe have been around someone who used their anger to hurt, harm, and bully. As you travel up, you've got the solar plexus. That's the power center. So sometimes maybe your third chakra really expands open, and you kind of shoot that red out the solar plexus chakra because you have to discharge it. It's feeling so strong, and it can't travel up the body because your heart chakra closes down. And so the way to get that red to move up, especially if you're feeling like that, someone used that term, gut-wrenching anger, or you feel sick to your stomach. That was the one for me. If I was around someone who was angry, I would feel nauseated. And I didn't realize that nausea was fear that was coming up for me. I would get fearful being around people who were angry, because I had experienced violence in my earlier childhood development. So you want to be able to open that heart chakra. But then when that red comes up through the diaphragm and into the heart chakra, that's where that red joins with the love in the heart chakra, and that's where it makes passion and compassion. It sets you on fire. Passion is on fire. It fires you up. It's like you just want to really express your passion, or people can feel that really expansive compassion of love and caring when your heart chakra is open combined with the red. Now, the other place that can get really closed down is the throat area. So the chakra that's here is about communication. And I think if you've never experienced someone using their words to hurt or harm when they're angry, you can just look at social media right now and you can get enough experiences of people who are really angry, really enraged, and that hatred is just spewing out and they're saying really ugly and awful things. And we just want to shut down, or it just shuts us down. And maybe that's the intention of the other person, is to kind of shut us down. So as the red comes up, you want to open up that fifth chakra, let that red just flow through, because maybe there's been times where you've been verbally abusive with your words when you felt angry. And I know I have felt anger before, and it's like, I can't stop being angry, or I feel I have a right to be angry over something that happened, or it's just like, back off, quit talking to me, shut up, it's like those words can just come out. So remember, the red has to discharge. It's a powerful energy. So you want to keep clearing out that emotional channel as it makes its way up and out the top of the head. That's its journey. You want the emotions to always go up and out the top of the head. Now let's just talk about the mind a little bit. Where are we? We can be mentally judgmental. We can be mentally critical. And so, it can get blocked in the head. And when that red is journeying up and it gets blocked in the head with where you might have criticism and judgment stored, or maybe someone has judged you and criticized you when they're angry, then a lot of times you get headaches. Some people get migraines, especially when they're having a lot. I associate migraines with the need to express your red, but it's getting stuck in the head. So it can be eventually cleared out. But when I go to guide you through the meditation, we're just going to let that red just flow, just like a little trickle up to the top of the head. And then you want it to come out the top, and you want that red emotional energy to infuse your crown chakra to help it to cleanse and clear, so you've got that purity of spirit. So the takeaway from this video this week is anger and rage get a bum rap. It can be transformational. It can be very powerfully healing, almost like unlike anything else, if you can learn to manage it. It's like a wild stallion that you're trying to tame, but you don't want to break its spirit. It's like a rocket ship ready to take off to outer space. But if that rocket ship and those rocket boosters don't have those, those metal side panels that hold the rocket in place while the rocket booster and the fuel's building up, it's like if you don't have solid grounding, that rocket ship could fall to the side, and then it just starts going around and taking out all kinds of people. And so you want to have really strong grounding, because when I feel anger coming up, and sometimes, darn it, I just don't have a good reason to be angry. It's like, why am I angry? I don't know why I'm angry. Somebody else say, why are you angry? It's like, I have no clue why I'm angry. Well, the thing about the body, your body knows, I need a good clearing. I need to kind of blast out either some old pain or old abuse or old frustration with the economy and politics and COVID and racism. Maybe your body just needs to clear out old hatred. So trust that your body is signaling you it needs to run that red energy to help heal you, transform you, and get you to another place in how you are feeling. I was teaching a class once, so I'll just share a little story with you. I was teaching a class once, about 25 people in the class. It was the basic meditation and intuitive development class. And everybody was super excited, and apparently all the students in the class knew each other well. Many of them worked with each other, but they also lived in community where, they got involved in a lot of community events together. So they knew each other well. And when I walked into the room, we'd been planning this for months. There was one particular woman that it was clear to me, it was almost like she had a lot of red in her aura. She had almost like a little chip on her shoulder, and I could tell that she was wanting to show me that she was alpha. She's the leader of this group, and she's been doing spiritual development for a long time. And it was kind of like trying to test me, like, yeah, I'm just here to see if you can show me something that I don't already know, but I doubt it kind of attitude. But I'm used to that, I wouldn't say I'm used to it. I don't like it, but it's a pattern. It's a pattern. It's a coping pattern. It's a pattern of behavior to feel safe. I know this, so I was giving her room. As I had led people through the first meditation of the morning, it was just before about 10:30, and as people were sharing just before our break, one woman said, "Wow, I really like that grounding. It helps me to feel calmer inside." Now, I heard the woman's thought, and I heard the lead woman, alpha woman, I heard her thought say, "That's dumb," or "That's stupid." So it was critical in her mind. But what I witnessed next as a clairvoyant shocked me. There was a big black ball, like a cannonball, just shot right out of her solar plexus chakra and hit the woman's aura. And I could kind of see the woman kind of lose her balance a minute. And then somebody else went to share, and the same thing. The woman was just throwing a lot of hate, and she was letting that anger and that rage propel that hatred as big black balls of hatred. Now, I will tell you, a lot of people do this. A lot of people throw energy, throw anger in this way, and throw hatred in this way. And it can make you feel sick. You don't feel very good. So I went out, talked to her on the break, just kind of asked her how she was doing. I said, I'm just noticing there's a lot of anger. Anyway, the bottom line is she got really pissed off. She really unloaded on me verbally. She got mad. She stormed back in the room. She tried to convince everybody in the class to leave with her, that I sucked as a teacher and that I had no business teaching. Anyway, it was not funny at all at the time. I can laugh about it now, but it wasn't funny at the time. But she did manage to get one woman to leave with her, but the rest of the class chose to stay. And we did get back into meditation, and the vibration of the room started going up. People started feeling better, and they're like, "Wow, I feel really good. That meditation was really good." And I'm like, "No, actually, it feels better in here because the vibe has come back up again. What have you noticed is the difference?" And then they said that these two women had left. And so those kinds of things happen a lot, but your best defense around people throwing anger is to really ground yourself quite strongly, really anchor in as deep to the earth as you can, really bring up a lot of earth energy, and believe it or not, open your heart chakra. It doesn't mean it's going to stop. You may need to actually leave the space, but that's just one small component of this red energy. Red energy is beautiful. It does help all your organs feel alive. Your organs function better, like your liver and your gallbladder and pancreas and spleen and your digestion, your heart, your lungs. Everything functions better with this beautiful red energy. But before I get started on this little meditation, I just want to say it can be quite intense for some people. Like, I remember I never felt anger in my life, so I just thought, I don't have anger. I would say I'm just not an angry person. And I know a lot of you watching this are going to say the same thing. I'm not angry. But yes, you can run the energy of red. I will tell you, after I'd been meditating for a while, that one day something just broke open, and it was a lot of rage. And I'll be honest, it felt like murderous rage, and I didn't think it was mine. I thought it had to be somebody's moved in my energy field. Well, it turned out it wasn't true. It was mine. And the reason why I was having so much rage and anger, because my spirit realized I was ready to start healing some old pain from my childhood at a different level than I'd been ready for before. But boy, I did not want to admit that it was mine. I will tell you, it took me about 3 days to get on the other side of it. And I will tell you that it took me kind of ups and downs over about 5 years to be able to manage and tame my own wild stallion of that red energy. So I want you to, have a little different perspective, have some peace with it, learn to love it, because when it joins with that heart of yours, that love of yours, it can expand that love bigger than anything you were ever able to do before. So let's go ahead and just do a little meditation around our emotional channels of the second chakra. Go ahead and get yourself comfortable. Close your eyes. Turn your attention inward. Say hello to your body. And please let your body know that you're going to be flowing some of that red energy. And you don't have to have a good reason for it. You're just going to let that red energy flow to be kind of a healing essence for you. Now say hello to your spirit and ask your spirit to just help you to stay well grounded and to just stay well centered and help you work with and play with your own red emotional energy. Basically, you're asking your spirit, can you have my back while I crank up more strength and power in my energy field? Nice. Now pretend, use your imagination to pretend that you are incredibly grounded to the center of the earth, and you're going to anchor that grounding into the center of the earth and use any image that is a source of strength for you. Go ahead and use your imagination to just send it through the floor of the room that you're in, through the earth's crust, and the 4,000 plus miles deep to the core of the earth, and then really anchor your grounding there. It's kind of like the rocket ship. You're going to stabilize the rocket ship before you kind of turn on the power boosters. Now go ahead and place your hands, if you would like, one or two hands on your second chakra. So that's the energy center located below your navel area. And in that area, the way that I see it is like a little bowl or like a tulip bulb. So that's the imagery that I like to pretend and play with. But you most certainly can use any image that's right for you. In fact, it's important that you use your own intuition and imagination to create an image that works for you. and then ground that emotional reservoir to the center of the earth. So you want to stabilize your emotional channel. If you want, you can take a little golden healing energy and you can just imagine it just cleansing and clearing the emotional channel, that reservoir in your second chakra. You can also, let's just take about 30 seconds to cleanse that. I look at it as a tube, but it can be anything you want, that channel that goes up and out the top of the head. Almost like a mercury thermometer. You know how the red goes up to show if you have a temperature or not? It's like you can use that tube as it goes up, but use some gold right now to help cleanse any blocking energy off and out of your emotional channel. Now, imagine that red. You have this glowing red of emotional energy in your second chakra. So what I want to say is I want you to know that you can manage all of your emotions. You just have never been taught that you can manage your own emotions. So a little trick that I learned and that I use is I create a dial. I imagine and pretend there's this dial from 0 to 10. And so right now I want you to imagine that you have a dial on your red emotions, and you can just turn it to like a level 1 or a level 2. Remember, it's really strong energy. And once you set the dial for the red flow, let's start off first by sending that red flow of emotion right down that grounding channel to cleanse it out with that red energy. Just imagine like this liquid red that's just going to pour down, but it can dissolve anything in its way. I could already feel some sinuses out there clearing, which means that it's already starting to clear energy off the top of your head. So now just keep that dial like at a 1 or a 2, and let's let it start flowing from your second chakra up into your third chakra, your power center. But again, it's a channel. So you can just allow that channel to just keep flowing right up through your third chakra. Now, sometimes when you're feeling that red start to come up, it's like, oh, I need to shut it down. I can't be angry. You might close down your heart chakra. If you're feeling a tightness in your chest, just imagine you're opening up your heart chakra to receive that red energy to blend with the love that you have in your chest area. Beautiful. All right, bring it right on up through your chest, and now you're going to move into the throat area. It's just that channel's going to, that red energy is going to move right up through the throat area, and as it's moving through, it's going to start dissolving any like negative or critical words or hateful words, things that are harmful that you might say when you're angry. Let it just dissolve a little bit there in the throat area. Nice. Just go ahead and move right up to the 6th chakra now. Let that emotional channel move right up into the 6th chakra. Just gently moving through your 6th chakra. And there's just let a little bit of that red color start to dissolve. Maybe harmful thoughts, criticism or judgment. Go ahead and let it just pass through the 6th chakra. Just let it clear a little bit. And then invite it to pass right on up through the crown of your head, the top of your skull. Let it flow up into your crown chakra, your 7th chakra. And then just like a fountain, you can let that red just flow up and out and spread 360 degrees. Let that red just dissolve. Snap, crackle, pop. Just dissolve any congestion you might have in your aura and let it drain right all the way down past your feet and down your grounding again. Oh, I can sense some big releases. So a little bit of red goes a long way. Some of you are very comfortable with the red, so you can turn that dial up a little bit more if you want. For others of you, we've just done this for maybe 7-8 minutes. It's a little bit much for you if you're used to suppressing your red. It might feel a little nauseating. It doesn't feel good to you. So you can just turn it down to a 0 again. And if that was enough and you need to kind of calm your body down, then you want to just infuse your body with maybe some dark green or blue that can be very soothing after you've been working with red energy. All right, whenever you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. And so I just invite you to play with, explore with your red emotions, make peace with your red emotions, and allow your spirit to kind of show you some different ways to work with it. Like I said, I worked with mine off and on and really managed to get a good sense about it and feel good about it and love my red emotional energy. But for me personally, who had kept it pretty clamped down, it took me about 5 years. But for you, we're living in a different age anyway. For you, just work little bits at a time, once or twice a week. But again, if you feel great with red, then go ahead and crank it up and let it feel yourself be empowered with your ability to heal yourself and to be able to manage it in your own energy field and no longer throw it at each other as we have been doing for a long, long time in our country. So yeah. All right, everyone. Well, I can hear the trucks coming up outside and the leaf blowers and the lawnmowers, so I think that's my time to finish up. If you've never watched one of these teachings before, please click the subscribe button so that you know when another one is released. And I look forward to sharing more with you next week's topic. is going to be on reincarnation. So I'll talk a little bit about that. So that's always a fun topic. So thanks again, everyone. It's great touching base with you again, and have a beautiful, wonderful week.